after a month of it being out, I finally gave Rocket Racing a try. For those unaware, Psyonix developed a game mode within Fortnite, basically merging Rocket League's style and mechanics into a pure racing mode. And it has to be said, it's pretty good. But playing the mode did make me wonder, what's the longevity for something like this? So I thought it would be fun to kick off the new year by analysing this game and discussing with you guys how the game would fare beyond the 1 year mark. As someone categorically not a Fortnite player, loading up Fortnite in order to reach Rocket Racing certainly was an experience. I didn't realise quite to what extent the game had become a game of games, as the front page became more like a browser than anything else. Upon loading the tutorial, it became pretty clear pretty quickly that the game would play nothing like Rocket League. It changed the way several mechanics operated and introduced new ones at the same time, which I suppose is actually a good thing. I found it interesting that the tutorial was split between basic and advanced, since everything shown in the advanced tutorial was actually pretty important, like how to ride on walls. It also introduced the rocket drift, which allows you to enter a drift a lot quicker, giving you an immediate advantage over someone who didn't finish the full tutorial. When it came time to enter ranked, the game doesn't have a placement system. It drops you off at the bottom of the ranked ladder and lets you climb up normally, which meant that the first dozen or so games that I played were absolute cakewalks. The early bronze ranks are almost entirely bots, but I'm not entirely sure when it started to introduce real players. I was definitely getting real games by the end of Bronze 2, but even then I couldn't guarantee that I was facing real opponents every game. Some games I would place top 4, and others I would absolutely dominate. It seems like a strange way to introduce players to the mode. Sure, it beats dealing with Smurfs, but I couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't for several hours. Other than the early rank shenanigans, I couldn't help but notice how good of a fit ranked play is to a mode like this, where winning or losing is on a spectrum rather than binary. I also noticed that the maps also got more complicated the higher my rank got, which I thought was a great way of keeping things fresh as you progressed, while also allowing those maps to be as difficult as they needed to be. I only really had enough time to reach gold for this video, so I can't speak for the other half of the rank ladder, so if you're up there, let me know if it works as well as I imagine it does. Mechanically, it's pretty smooth. There are some moments where you end up fighting the controls, or something happens that you didn't really want to happen, but very rarely did I feel like it was out of my control. I have definitely seen enough clips of people being screwed over by jank that I can't rule it out as a possibility. Overall, for a very young mode, it does a lot pretty well. It has a nice sense of progression and does a decent job of catering both to new players and those with more experience. It'll be interesting to see what they add over time. But there is a lot here that has me questioning its longevity. First of all, if these numbers are accurate, this completely free mode isn't doing all that well numbers wise. It's frequently being beaten out by even player-made Fortnite modes, which either goes to show how insanely popular Fortnite is, or how poorly this mode is faring. By comparison, Rocket League has around 8 times the player count at any one time. I also couldn't help but notice how static a lot of the maps are. I mean, the track is for sure, but even the background barely has anything going on. It just seems a little empty. As far as I'm aware, there aren't any maps with moving obstacles either, which seems like a missed opportunity for further difficulty. I also wasn't expecting the customization to be so limited. Considering that it's free otherwise, I was expecting more than 4 cars to be usable. Imagine my surprise when my extensive car inventory in Rocket League, when transferred over, turned into this. Certainly makes this mode feel more like a Fortnite thing rather than a Rocket League thing. And I think that's the main thing going against this mode presently, in that it draws too much of its roots from Fortnite instead of being its own thing. A free-to-play racing game on the Epic Store would probably do a lot better than a mode stuck within Fortnite. But clearly this mode is in Fortnite for a good reason, and for its purpose it does a decent job. I think ultimately the fate of this mode depends heavily on how it's treated in the future. If not updated quickly enough, it will definitely get stale fast, as there's only oh so many times you can go around the same tracks before it loses its charm. But what do you guys think? Is this mode going to stand the test of time? If you enjoyed this video, maybe check out my video on the decline of Rocket League. And I'll see you in the next one.